Amuno, what are you doing here? What is wrong with you? I thought you were in the UK. What are you doing in this ghetto? This is a ghetto, a dangerous place. You are not supposed to be here. A senator's son in the ghetto? Let's go home. Well, Uncle Ben, I'm not ready to go home yet until my mission of finding true love is accomplished. A fight erupts in the ghetto. Francis tries to separate the fight. That they hit him in the head with a broken bottle. He starts screaming for help. Then a tomboy lady comes to help him. She cleaned him up, bandaged his head, then she brings him to sit. Then she asks for the money she used to treat him. Oga, you owe me 1,000 naira for the bandage. Francis exclaimed, so you want to collect money for me for helping me? I thought help is free. Ibiso exclaimed, Oga, that one na your business o. Abeg pay me. Do I look like Father Christmas to you? Francis, who was in pain, brought her 1,000 naira and paid her off. Meanwhile, on her way home, Ibiso dodges from those loan sharks who she sees in their compound asking her mother for her whereabouts so she could pay up her debt. If not, trouble will burst. When they leave, she enters her compound and she and her mother try to suggest ways to pay off the debt. Ibiso assures her mother not to worry that she will find the money to pay up the debt. Meanwhile, Tekena and his boys are seen terrorizing Francis, telling him to declare for the boys. Guy, drop for us, waiting dey your pocket. Francis tells them no show, work no day today. They harass him and beat him up on top of the bandaged head he had already sustained that day. The next morning, Ibiso returns home with big cash and gives Mama that she would use it to settle the debt. Mama questions where she got that money from. She confesses that she followed her friends to drug men and steal from them. Mama is seen wailing, so Ibiso, you want to make me childless? What if they catch you? Abeg, stop. I don't like this kind of hustle. Ibiso promises to stop so Mama can calm down. Francis, who fetches water for people in the ghetto, is seen having an altercation with a customer. Madam, pay me my money. What we agreed was 500. Why you dey give me 100 naira? Madam, I no go comot for here till my money is complete. Tekena and his boys lands in the scene and asks what the problem was. Mma, his girlfriend, explains how they agreed on how much to fetch the water for her, only for Francis to demand for higher pay. But as Francis wanted to say that she was lying, he receives a slap on his face. Then he rushes off with his wheelbarrow. Joy, Francis' neighbor, has been good ever since Francis moved into the ghetto. She cooks and gives him food. She even washes his clothes. Joy tells him how much she loves him, how spending time with him makes her day. But Francis tells her that he's a poor man, that he doesn't have any money to take good care of her. But Joy says it doesn't matter. What matters is the love they share. Francis asks Joy to be his girlfriend. In excitement, Joy accepts the offer and they hug themselves. The next morning, Francis goes out, as usual, for his business. Then he sees people gathered. To his surprise, it was the body of Joy that laid on the ground. He hears the gossip of people around how this girl has been the one raiding the community, stealing and harvesting organs from people, terrorizing the community. In shock, Francis goes back home. He could not believe that the girl that was gentle and soft and showed him love and care in the ghetto was a killer, and now she's dead. In one of Ibizo's hustling in the ghetto, she was raped by some hoodlums. Then a good Samaritan rushes her to the hospital and goes back to inform her mother. Mama could not believe her eyes, seeing her daughter fighting for her life in the hospital. Days later, Ibizo recovers, but no money to pay for the hospital bills. The doctor insists that she must look for the money, else Ibizo will not be discharged. Mama goes back, but she was unsuccessful as everyone she asked to borrow her money said they did not have. So she returns back to the hospital and made an arrangement with the doctor that Ibizo should go and hustle for the money while she remains back as a collateral in the hospital, pending when the daughter comes back from hustling the money and pay up. Francis is introduced by his friend to a work at a construction place happening in the ghetto, that their daily pay will be okay, so he agrees to go there to work. Ibiso leaves the hospital and goes to the construction site to request for a job, but the engineer tells her that the work is for men and not for ladies, but Ibiso assures him that she's strong as a man and can do the work of a man. Meanwhile, her part and Francis' own crosses. Francis, upon hearing from other construction workers how she was raped in the hood, decides to be nice to her, but she rejects his niceness and warns him to stay clear of her part. One day, after work, on her way home, she sees some guys smoking. Still in fear, she began to cry. Soon, Francis appears and offers to walk her home for safety. On getting working. Francis asks her why she's doing this work, which is meant for guys. But she explains to him, now the hustle be this, oh. My mama dey hospital. I use her to pay up my bills as a collateral until I pay it up. They will release her. She tells him how much is remaining for her to complete the bills before her mother can go home. Some days later, Francis comes back to the site with some money he has saved up and gave it to her so that she can go get her mother out of the hospital. In shock, tears start rolling out of her eyes. She says in her life, nobody has ever done something good for her without asking for a favor from her. She thanks Francis and goes to the hospital to pay up Mama's bill. Soon, Francis and Ibiso becomes good friends, helping each other on the site. They were seen eating bread and drinking coke together. Soon, they both started catching feeling for each other. Mama notices it and wants Ibiso to stay away from Francis, that he is poor, he will not give her a good life. She needs to marry a rich man that will take them out from this ghetto. At the construction site, the owner of the project comes to inspect his project, only to see Francis carrying blocks on his head. He goes to confront him. Tamuno, what are you doing here? What is wrong with you? I thought you were in the UK. What are you doing in this ghetto? This ghetto is a dangerous place. You're not supposed to be here. A senator's son in the ghetto. Let's go home. Well, Uncle Ben, I am not ready to go home yet until my mission of finding true love is accomplished. Immediately, Uncle Ben puts a call across, and secretary came and bundled Francis, whose real name is Tamuno, into the car. When he gets home, he starts apologizing to his father that he took an adventure to the ghetto to find true love, that he noticed all the women in his life then loved him for his wealth and not for himself, that he had to find the one in ghetto. After some days, Tamino returns to the ghetto in an exotic car. He goes to Ibiso's compound and meets her washing clothes outside the compound. Mama, seeing him, comes out and apologizes for the way she talked to him, that it was just that she wanted a better life for her daughter. Ibiso stands and was in shock to see her poor friend Francis, who introduced himself as Tamuno. He apologizes to her that he had to come to the ghetto to find true love, and ever since their path crossed, she has been good to him, helping him to survive in the ghetto, teaching him the ghetto ways on how to survive. He asks that they leave the ghetto to start life together in a better environment. In excitement, she hugs him and kisses him. Mama Nibiso is seen leaving the ghetto with children waving at them a goodbye. I've come to the end of this story. I hope you did enjoy it. If this is your first time of popping in, you're highly welcome. Please don't forget to watch this video today and share with your friends and your family, and turn on your bell button to get latest updates. For my returning subscribers, a big thank you.